Good evening, St. Thomas More Prayer Warriors. It's Father Browning and a deeper dive into the Discovery Prayer. So we're going to take over these next few weeks each one of the movements of the Discovery Prayer and kind of go a little bit deeper into it to make sure you understand it well and you can use it well to help you lift your mind and heart to God and be drawn deeply into the Scriptures. So the first one is reading. So first question that comes to mind is, what do we read? Right? So you can use the Gospels are what I recommend because, first of all, that's where you're going to encounter Christ. And just as all of the people that encounter Christ with faith in the Gospels, they never leave the same. You're going to always be changed when you enter into the Gospels with faith because that's what we see in every one of the Gospels and every one of the encounters with people with Christ. And so the Gospels are prime place for us to begin this discovery prayer and use it well. Second, you can simply use the readings of the day or the reading for Sunday. So I would suggest maybe the readings of the day most days. And then, maybe Thursday or Friday, you begin to pray with the Sunday readings or the Sunday Gospel so that you can enter deeply into it. It's going to help you when Mass comes, right? And when the homily comes, maybe you'll have an even deeper insight than Father Browning shares with you at Sunday. That is highly likely. Okay, so because the Lord will speak to you and encounter you in your prayer with that gospel on Sunday. Whenever you're entering into prayer, right, you go to your sacred space. Over time, as you've developed and built that sacred space, which is only used for prayer, when you head to your sacred space, it'll be easier for you to enter into prayer, right? Because you're kind of training your body and your mind to know that when I go here, I'm entering into something that's sacred, something special. And so over time, that's going to be a very helpful thing for you as well. Try to leave the distractions behind. One way of doing that before you enter into prayer is take at least 15 or 20 minutes away from any media. So no phones or iPads or television before you enter into your 15 minutes or more of sacred prayer. That will help lessen your distractions because the media, social media, and all these uses of phones and iPads and television, computers, those tend to leave our minds distracted and with a lot going on in them. So in just preparing for a good time of prayer, take 15 or 20 minutes where you don't use any of those things and you're just kind of preparing yourself to enter into that prayer, which is why the morning is a really good place. So as you enter into the prayer, just start with a little prayer like, Lord, I love you. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to have my mind and heart drawn to you through prayer with Scripture. Help me to be away from any distractions and to really enter into this so that I can encounter you, Jesus. I really want to encounter you with deep faith and be transformed. Whatever prayer comes to your heart, you can say the glory be. And as you do this more, you'll probably have your own words that want to come out to the Lord whenever you sit down to enter into prayer. So you just kind of begin with that small prayer, and that'll be a good kind of cue for your mind and body and your heart to be ready to receive what the Lord wants to give. And then you take your passage that you're going to pray with that day and make sure it's not too long. We don't want too long of a passage. That's why we can use the readings of the day. Sometimes there's long ones, but you don't have to read the whole thing. You find the part that you want to read and pray with, and you begin to slowly and prayerfully read through it. Slowly is the key, right? When we read quickly, we're reading for information most of the time. In this, we're reading to allow ourselves to encounter Jesus, to let him encounter us and draw us deeper in mind and heart into him. And so you want to read it nice and slow and prayerfully, because the Lord is in the still small voice, as he tells Elijah. And that will just kind of help you to prayerfully enter into the text and not be just trying to get information out of it. So slowly and prayerfully read it. And as you're going through, let's say this is your first time reading through a text and a word or a phrase stands out to you. Stop right there. Move on to the next part of the discovery of prayer and begin to reflect on it, right? If you're lucky enough, that's a beautiful thing. And there's no reason to go any further. You can just then enter into deeply into prayer, reflecting on it and speaking to the Lord about it. Let's say that doesn't happen, which is sometimes the case, and you finish reading the passage that you wanted to prayerfully read. Read it again, and then read it again, right? And at some point, something will stand out to you that you can begin to reflect on. Whenever that happens, just stop reading and begin to reflect. That's perfectly fine. That's what this prayer is all about. It's not about getting through it and finishing the passage, but it's about allowing the Lord to encounter us and be prepared for that encounter in the Scripture, and to stop there and begin to reflect on that, and then to begin to have a conversation with the Lord. So that's the point of prayer. The purpose of reading is to meet Jesus in that encounter. So when it happens, stop and move on to those next parts of the prayer that are helpful for you. And then, to recognize, like, the reason that we're doing this is that the prayer is to honor and seek God. All right? Not about the information we get or even the insights that we get, but to really seek and honor God, and to allow our hearts to be moved and deepened by what he wants to speak to us through the passage that we're prayerfully reading and praying with today. Again, finally, read slowly. Make sure you're reading slowly. It can't be emphasized enough, so that it will be the place where the Lord encounters you and calls you to the deep waters of prayer, where he wants to help you encounter him, to know him, to be moved and transformed by him in this time of prayer. So that's our little deeper dive today into the reading part of the discovery prayer. And over the next few weeks, we'll take a look at the next few. The next one will be reflecting, or reflect. And so we'll take a look at that next week. And until then, I hope you all have a blessed week of prayer, and God bless you.